If you're thinking about making a move to Amarillo, Texas, but you're also looking to get outside of town, well, this might be the right episode for you. I'm Derek Manasco. We get phone calls, texts, emails every day just from people just like you who are looking to move to Amarillo, Texas and relocate from all over the country, as Amarillo, Texas is the second fastest growing mid-sized city in the U.S. If this is you, go ahead and scan the QR code that's on the screen with your smartphone, and that will give you direct access to booking a Zoom call directly with me to discuss your moving needs, your relocation needs. And I can also help answer any question about Amarillo, Texas that you may have. But let's go ahead and dive into the video. So you're thinking about moving to Amarillo, but you're looking at Bushland, as Bushland is just 14 miles west of Amarillo, just off of I-40. It is a smaller rural community. So if the city life just isn't for you, you're wanting to get more elbow room, get outside of town, and have that more smaller community feel, then Bushland might actually fit your needs. What are the main reasons someone would choose Bushland over Amarillo, Texas? Let's go ahead and start with just having more space. Most of the homes built here in Bushland are going to be on a half acre, 1 acre, 2, 5, 10, or 20 acre tracts. And that's dependent on neighborhood. If it's a newer construction neighborhood, it's very typical that you're going to be on a half to 1 acre of land. And that's very typical, whether it's North Bushland or South Bushland. Those 1 acre lots are going to be very normal in the market for purchasing a home here in Bushland, Texas. So what does that mean for you? Well, that means a little bit more elbow room. If you're looking at some of the neighborhoods in Amarillo, you can see close proximity to your neighbor. And if that's just not really your feel, you're wanting something a little bit more rural, a little bit more country feel, then Bushland's going to be the right fit for you. Bushland spans out north and south, and you have two different majority neighborhoods in Bushland. You're going to have Bushland North and you're going to have Bushland South, and they are separated by I-40, which goes east and west. Another reason to move to Bushland would be the growth. You're having a phenomenal growth in Bushland. I heard from a local building source here recently in the planning department that over 1,600 new homes were in development or planned to be built in Bushland ISD over the next few to several years. That is a massive increase in not just families, but homes that are going to be built. And so that's a lot of opportunity in Bushland. And so therefore, they have built 2 new schools, as we mentioned earlier, the new high school, the new elementary school. The current elementary and the current junior high are going to be switched around a little bit. And the current high school is going to be the intermediary school. You're going to have the elementary, intermediary, the junior high, and then the high school. So they're kind of flip-flopping some of the locations to account for all the new incoming students, the future growth of Bushland, all the incoming families, all the incoming homes being built. And so let's also take a look at that real quick. The average home listed in Bushland is just under $450,000. That's Bushland North and Bushland South. That's collectively across the board. It's just under $450,000. The school system, as ranked by niche.com, is the #1 school in Potter County as well, scoring an A- on niche.com. And your teacher to student ratio, or your student to teacher ratio, is still relatively low per state standards. The most recent data was showing a 12-to-1. That number has gone up, and I think teachers here locally are also experiencing the growth, and there are also some pain points with that, getting ready to transfer into the new schools and a lot of logistics happening. Driving up and down Bushland Road and trying to get your kids to school on time can be a little bit of a pain in the mornings. And so, which we'll talk about that a little bit more in just a second. Let's talk about reasons why you might not want to move to Bushland. If you're looking for activities and you're wanting things to do, again, you're out here in the country in Bushland, and so you're going to be further away from those set activities. You're going to be further away from shopping. As I mentioned before, we have a Dollar Tree, we have a Family Dollar, and we have a dollar store. We've got a couple of gas stations, couple of kind of local restaurants, with a barbecue restaurant soon to be coming is word through the grapevine. So stay tuned for more information on that. But as of right now, if you're looking at doing activities, you like going out on family adventures, you want to have a lot of things to do, you're 14 miles away from Amarillo. So maybe moving into Amarillo or looking at a neighborhood that's just on the outskirts of Amarillo might suit you better if you're looking for those set activities. Again, it kind of comes down to what you want, what you're looking for. You're looking to be in the city, closer to shopping, closer to the medical facilities, closer to family activities, etc., then Amarillo might be more for you. But if you're looking for that country feel, then Bushland really is going to suit that need. Another reason why you might not want to move to Bushland, well, it's going to be the weather and it's going to be the wind. Bushland is completely flat with very little trees, and a lot of what you're surrounded with here in Bushland and the surrounding area is going to be a lot of farm and agriculture land. And as we are on the Cap Rock, we do get very high winds. And so you can refer to one of my previous videos talking about the pros and cons of Amarillo to really get an understanding for more of the weather, but it's going to be more of the same here. You're going to have high winds occasionally throughout the year that can reach anywhere between 70 to 80 miles an hour, wind gust speeds. We do in the storm season, which is basically kind of later spring, early summer, you're going to have storms that can have tornadic activity, that can have large amounts of hail, damaging winds. And so that is a common theme, but we have wonderful roofers, wonderful construction companies here locally that can absolutely take care of you. And some of those are based here in Bushland as well. So just something to consider. Another reason you may or may not want to move to Bushland would be the weather. And then let's talk about the last reason why you might not want to move to Bushland, and that's going to be the price. As I mentioned before, the average list price here in Bushland is around $450,000. Now, that price point isn't going to be for everybody, and it is very hard. I'm not going to say it's impossible, but it is very hard to find a home in Bushland for under $350,000. Now, land is available and there are things you can do, but there are also restrictions in a lot of the neighborhoods in Bushland. So, for example, in Outpost Ranches in South Bushland, you can't have chickens or swine. You can have other animals, but those are the two things you can't have here. So it's going to depend on the neighborhood that you're looking in as to what deed restrictions you're going to be bound to for that neighborhood as to what you can or cannot do with that land. It is very important to understand that and have a good knowledge base of that when looking at moving or relocating to Bushland, Texas. The other thing with price has to be coincided with your property taxes. Property taxes are going to be really expensive here in Bushland, Texas. So for example, on a home that's roughly 3,000 square feet, estimated tax value around $475,000. Your taxes per year are going to be roughly around that $6,000, $6,400 range. And so that's going to give you a good idea of what type of property taxes you can expect when moving to Bushland, Texas. Texas in general is one of the highest in the nation as far as property taxes go. And so just something to consider when you're thinking about moving to Bushland, Texas. I hope that gives you a good understanding of Bushland, Texas and reasons why you may or may not want to move here. If you're just curious about moving to Amarillo in general and you don't know what to expect, why don't you watch this video right here? And it's going to go over some of the things to consider before moving to Amarillo, Texas. I cover a lot of things you may know and some things that you may not know, but I appreciate you. If this video has helped you in any way, please go ahead and like this video. Give us a comment of what you thought was unique or what questions you may have in the comments, and then go ahead and subscribe and hit that notification bell so that you get alerted when we put new videos out, which we try to about weekly or bi-weekly, just to get that content to you guys so that you can make a great informed decision about relocating to Amarillo, Texas. I really appreciate your time. If there's anything in the world I can do for you, please let me know. As always, have a blessed day. Go make an impact, and we'll see you in the next video.